Hello everyone and welcome to Wrestling Conversations with Harris, and today I'll be talking about a guy who is on everyone's YouTube thumbnails and he will be mine as well. CM Punk. Yep, because obviously we're never tired of talking about CM Punk, are we guys? So basically I'll just be talking about, I guess, his overall legacy and his AEW Run review basically. So as we know, in August of 2021, CM Punk made his return after 7 years, and it really has to be said, one of the best returns of all time. It was really one of the best returns ever. So I remember watching it. It was just, it was really surreal. We didn't think it was real at that point, really. So it really, I remember the news of when it was announced a few months before that he could be making his return, and I think we all thought, probably not. Again, CM Punk returns. We've had this rumor for the last 7 years, but this time it was actually real. So that was good, and it actually started off really well. And I think most people, his match with Darby Allin, really good at All Out. Really, his opening promo was amazing, one of the best as well. So overall, it started off well. And if you remember, people were saying, "Oh, he's just too nice in the first few months." Where's the real CM Punk? He was just too nice, and again, people were like, "Oh, we don't want that CM Punk." Well, I guess you got the real CM Punk now, and be careful what you wish for, I guess. So I will be talking about let's just talk about some of the good things he's done. Most of it was overshadowed later on, but he did do some good things. He is one of the best performers, you cannot deny that. His feud with MJF was one of the best in the last 5-7 years, in my opinion. It was, some people will forget that, but it was literally one of the best. The match on Dynamite was good. Their match at Revolution was very good. I think it was a dog collar match, very good match. So overall, their promo battles were awesome. So he had one of the best feuds. And before that, Full Gear 2021, he had a really good short feud, but really good with Eddie Kingston. One of the best 10-minute matches you'll see, him and Eddie Kingston at Full Gear. That was also really good. Their promo battle was amazing as well. So he started off really well, to be honest. And then after that, you look at, it sort of started to go downhill. His match and feud with Hangman Page was, the build and everything was alright. And I remember thinking, CM Punk winning, I don't know if it's the right call in terms of, you need to build new stars, but and he did end up getting injured, but I do understand why Tony Khan put the belt on him, because he is one of their biggest stars, so I do understand that. But if you look at, he got injured and then he came back basically in claiming to be the world champion afterwards when he came back from an ankle injury, and then he basically, if you remember, he called out Hangman Page. Even though he was in a feud with John Moxley, he still came out and called Hangman Page out, even though he knew Hangman won't be coming out, but he still called him out. So that was basically where the tension started. I think he didn't really like Hangman, because Hangman, I think, said he doesn't take advice from veterans, which he didn't like. I don't know if Hangman really meant that, or he might have meant it in a different way maybe. So but that's basically what he irked him about Hangman, and basically that's what happened. And his feud with John Moxley was really a weird feud. He just lost in a squash match to John Moxley, and then he beat John Moxley at All Out. So that was a bit of a weird feud, and Punk even talked about that, I think. And then after that, we all know what happened. The AEW All Out, or should we say Brawl Out 2022, where he basically said all those things about the Bucks, Hangman, even Cole Cabana, and the Bucks obviously came into his locker room and there was a backstage fight, and they both got suspended. So and he was also injured in the match as well against Moxley with triceps injury, I think it was. So basically that happened, Brawl Out, and that's basically fully where things went downhill. And then when he returned, we thought he might never return, but there were a few stories about him, maybe Tony Khan buying his contract out and then him not returning. And then basically he came back because they made a new whole show just for him, Collision. And then the first few weeks were good, and then his opening promo in Collision was good, taking a dig at the Young Bucks as well, calling them counterfeit Bucks. So overall that was alright. And then the problem started yet again, with him apparently kicking out Ryan Nemeth backstage, Christopher Daniels, and amongst many others he kicked out, due to some reasons about Ryan Nemeth calling CM Punk soft and whatever. Maybe Christopher Daniels is friends with the Young Bucks, that's why. And Christopher Daniels is the head of talent relations, so Punk kicking him out, it was just really weird. And then he had an altercation with Jack Perry, or he talked to Jack Perry about using real glass, and that basically got a bit iffy. And then obviously the all-in altercation with Jack Perry, when Jack Perry looked into the camera and said "real glass, cry me a river." And then after that, there's various news of him choking Jack Perry out or whatever backstage, and they got into a scuffle. The monitors apparently were flying. Apparently he did more than lunge at Tony Khan as well, so his boss. So you don't really do that, especially now. And that all led to Jack Perry and CM Punk being suspended, and obviously this past Saturday, it led to CM Punk being fired from All Elite Wrestling due to all of these things. And Tony Khan was advised by the legal committee or the discipline committee, I think it was, that they should really take action against CM Punk, but it was Tony Khan's decision to fire him. So that's what happened, and right now there've been reports of him. He could go back to WWE. We don't know. We really don't know yet. But he wanted to make the WWE return either in late 2022 when he was recovering from his injury after a Brawl Out. Apparently there's news he wanted to make his return. Maybe he also visited Raw backstage and met with Triple H, if you remember, earlier this year. And so could he go to WWE? I'm not going to count it out, but I guess we'll find out. We just don't know. We just don't know. So overall, his AEW in the ring was really good. Most of it. MJF feud, Eddie Kingston. He is one of the best performers. And that will ultimately be his legacy, I think. If this is it for CM Punk and he's not coming back, then his legacy will be that he's one of the best performers ever. But also is a tale of two halves. One of the best performers ever, but also his attitude. Normally, Phil Brooks's attitude, a bit of is just, as I was saying before I cut myself off, is a bit of a weird situation with his attitude problems, and he's a very controversial figure outside of the ring as well. He's not afraid to speak his mind, which is good, but also there's certain ways of handling yourself. Even if someone comes up to you to start a fight, you can still restrain yourself. You can still act like a leader, which he didn't really. So overall, that will be his legacy. One of the best performers ever, but also being just a bit of a problematic person in terms of his attitude, which could have easily been avoided by him, in my opinion. But I guess that's just how he is. He might, I hope he does, reflect on this and tries to, better himself as a person. But that will be it. Basically, I am a fan of CM Punk. I really am. But some of his, I guess problems, he really needs to look at them and just get better. So that's basically my assessment of CM Punk. Hopefully we do see him down the road, but it remains to be seen. So that's it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.